morning, students. Today we shall understand one more approach in order to identify or obtain the approximate solution using RR method. Okay, so that is nothing but Rayleigh-Ritz method. Okay, it's an approach for the same purpose what we have done in the displacement method. The same approach will be used here in order to identify the approximate solution. It could be displacement, stress, or strain. So I will list out the steps that we are following in RR method. The same, in order to solve the problem, these steps are very much essential. So the first step is formulate the potential energy functional for the given problem. So formulate the potential energy functional for the given problem. So this is the first step, followed with the second step. So here see the formulation, the finite element formulation will remain same. You know that general steps that we are following, that we have discussed. So in that second step, it is we have to assume the displacement function, or we call that as an interpolation model. Okay, so assume trial displacement function for the given problem which satisfy the boundary condition. Okay, so we have one is polynomial function. Okay, polynomial function. So if I want to represent, that will be u representing displacement, followed with a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3 x cube, so it's so on. Okay, that is an x raised to n. So this is the polynomial function. Same form we have trigonometric function. So that is represented by y is equal to the same c1 sine pi x by l, followed with c2 sine 3 pi x by l. So it will continue. Okay, so this is a polynomial and this is a trigonometric function. Based on the question, we are going to assume polynomial or trigonometric function. In few questions they may ask use the polynomial function, and in few questions they may ask use trigonometric function as a displacement model. So they will put this particular statement in the question, and it is better if you know both the ways how to solve the problem. Okay, so we shall use polynomial function in RR method and trigonometric function in Galerkin's. So we shall see in further classes how to use these particular functions to get the approximate solution. And the third step, so here it is, substitute the displacement function into the potential energy functional. Substitute the displacement function into the potential energy functional. So we know that what is a potential energy functional, that is provided by pi is equal to strain energy plus uh, that is work potential. Okay, so here we need to substitute this displacement function. Okay, we are going to obtain this, you can see that displacement function, and this thing has to be substituted in potential energy functional. Okay, after substitution we need to apply minimize the potential energy functional, the concept of minimum potential energy functional. So we have to minimize the potential energy functional, to obtain the equilibrium condition, to obtain the equilibrium condition. Okay, so total 4 steps, and one more, the final step is the fifth one. Here the final step is to determine the unknown displacement, and hence using this displacement we can able to calculate stress and strain. So this is RR method. Total 5 steps are here, the same we are following in the numericals. So formulate the potential energy functional, assume the trial displacement function, so it could be polynomial or trigonometric, substitute the displacement function in the PE, potential energy functional, and minimize that, and determine the unknown displacements. So we shall see how the problems are solved using this method. So let us consider a numerical. So if you have, please take down this. Okay, kindly solve with me. Okay, the practice in FEM is very much important. Okay, so the problem statement is as follows: use Rayleigh-Ritz method to find stress and displacement at the midpoint of a bar shown in figure, where E is 70 GPa, A 100 millimeter square, and we need to assume the second order polynomial function. I will just write down the problem statement in a brief manner. So here we need to use RR method. Okay, we need to use RR method to find stress and displacement. So these are the two unknowns that we need to identify. I hope you can see that it is very much clear. Stress and displacement. Okay, displacement where? At midpoint. At midpoint of a bar. So it is very much clear. The given element is bar. We need to identify the stress as well as displacement at the midpoint. Okay, both stress and displacement at the midpoint. So we have a given data, that is E is equal to 70 GPa. Okay, we have this E, and followed with area is given, that is A is equal to 100 mm square, and one more note they have given. So what is that? We need to assume second order displacement function. So second order displacement, actually polynomial, that is function. As I said, in problems they may specify what we need to assume. Here directly they have given, no worries on that. So we have to assume the second order polynomial displacement function. Okay, so the problem is in this way. Let me draw the sketch. We have a bar element. So this is a bar element. both end are fixed. Okay, both end are fixed, and the dimension is, so from it is 20 mm, and the remaining is 20 mm. So this is done, and displacement will take place in the axial direction that is given by x. So at any point, okay, so we have a force applied at the center that is 8 kilonewton. So due to this force there will be a displacement that is given by x, and you should have that minimum sense that both end are fixed. What is the displacement at the fixed ends? Can anyone let me know the answer? Displacement at the end. So what is the displacement u here, and what is the displacement u here? Will it be there any displacement? That is my question. Will there any displacement at the fixed end of bar? Answer me.
No, sir.
Very good. So that will be 0. You can take directly, that will be 0, and you need to calculate the displacement that is at the center. See, remember we are using U alphabet for representing the displacement. So now let us code the given data. So that is, let me write, the given data are as follows. E, Young's modulus is given by 70 GPa. So 70 GPa is nothing but what? 70 into 10 raised to how much? Gigapascal. Anyone? Newton per meter square, but whereas area is given in millimeter square, if I turn this will be 70 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Okay, so this is how I will convert the given data as per the requirement. So that is E, and area is given by 100 mm square. Now I have area as well as E in the same unit. Okay, and there is a load that is P 8 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, 8 kilonewton. So I will write in terms of Newton. Okay, now in this given figure we are hereby, like, we are to identify the displacement u. Okay, so let me assume, okay, let u be the axial displacement. So we know that u alphabet displacement in x direction, v alphabet displacement in y direction, w alphabet displacement in z direction. So please remember this. The same way we are representing u be the axial displacement at any point of x, okay, from the fixed end. So and at midpoint we assume u as u1, so that is, we consider this as displacement at midpoint, meaning their x will be 20 mm. Okay, see, u, what is u? U is the axial displacement at any point on x. If I consider this complete as an x direction, if I consider over a point here, so u representing the displacement. If I consider a point, so that will be a. And now I am stating u will be u1 exactly at the midpoint, so that is x is equal to 20. The following displacement we considered as u1. Now let us come back to our first step. Here in RR method, the first step is formulate the potential energy functional. So just let me highlight that. Formulate the potential energy functional for the given problem, and we know that. So that formula is the first step, that is potential energy is given by strain energy plus work potential. Okay, and here for strain energy stored in a bar, okay, that is given by, let me write on that. Yes, now it is will. So I will continue here. So strain energy stored in a bar. So this formula is very much important for substitution. So that is given by strain energy, that is equal to the formula you please remember for bar, AE by 2 integration from 0 to L, okay, 0 to L, deba U by deba X whole square into dx. Okay, so this is strain energy. And work potential, so that is given by W is equal to, we have a external force, that is 8 kilonewton is applied, that is represented P, and whatever the displacement that is happening at the midpoint is represented by U1. So let me write minus P into U1. So this is representing the work potential. Now, so let me write let me substitute these two value in potential energy functional. So that is given by potential energy is equal to AE by 2 followed with integration from 0 to L deba U by deba X whole square dx minus P U1. Okay, this will be the potential energy functional. So let me substitute the values. Area is given by 100 millimeter square. E is given by 70 into 10 raised to 3 by 20. So 0 to L, we don't know what is deba U by deba X. Let it be as it is, dx minus, we know the value of P, that is 8 into 10 raised to 3, and we don't know U1. Now the second step will come into action. So there we are able to identify what is deba U by deba X and what is U1 by considering the polynomial second order displacement function. So far this is the first step. We are just formulating the potential energy functional, that is pi is equal to strain energy plus work potential. So we know the formula, we have substituted the same. Okay, now we shall move on to the second step. I will just show you the second step. So let me take highlighter, and this is the second step. Assume the trial displacement function which satisfies the boundary condition. That is very much important. It should satisfy the boundary condition. And now we have two function, polynomial function and one more trigonometric function. So in the given problem they have specified very clearly, that is we have to use polynomial function given by U is equal to A naught. So let me undo this, I will use the same color. So U is equal to A naught, this particular polynomial. And again they have clearly specified, they made our job easy. They have said second order. So it will be, the equation will be from U A naught A1x, this is the first order, and this is the second order. Only we consider U is equal to A naught plus A1x plus A2 x square, because it is given in data. In case if it is not given in the data, I will let you know how to determine the polynomial function, where we need to stop, in which order. So for that, the boundary condition will be very much helpful, so that I will be explaining in the next problem. Okay, we shall consider that. Yeah, so let me take pen. Yeah, so the second step is we need to assume polynomial displacement function, that is exactly second order function, that is trial displacement function. So what is that? That is given by u displacement a1 a0 plus a1x plus a2 x square. Okay, so this is polynomial displacement function. I will assume this as 2, let it be 2, and this has 1. Okay, u is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2 x square. Okay, now, so now we need to apply the boundary condition. So I will let you know how to do that. So before that, let me copy the sketch. So this is very much important to apply the boundary condition. So I will just copy this particular sketch. Yeah. Now, so you just consider this particular point. Okay, number 1 I will write 1 2 3. So what is this 1 2 3 are the nodes. I will represent that as node 1, node 2, node 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 nodes are here, and you have clearly mentioned how to represent the node. So based on, in case any difference in geometry, we can represent the node, and as well as wherever it is fixed, you have to represent the node. 1 and 3 position are fixed, and you can see that at node number 2 we have an application of force, that is 8 kilonewton. So this is how we represent the node. So when I consider the point 1 at node 1, okay, so node 1, let me write at node 1. So what will be the displacement? We already know that u will be 0. Okay, so u is 0. Okay, then what will be the value of x? Okay, x is 0. How x is 0? So x is nothing but the length. If I consider, so at this point it will be 0, at this point it will be 20, and here it will be 40. So here the x measuring value is 0. So what is the total length? Total length is 40. Okay, at node 3 x value will be 40, at node 2 x value will be 20, at node 1 x value will be 0. I hope you can understand this. So u is equal to 0 where at x is equal to 0, that is the condition. Okay, at x is equal to 0. So by using these two condition, if I substitute in equation 2, I will get the value of u as 0. Okay, a0 plus a1 into 0 plus a2 into 0 square. Now I was able to identify what is the value of a0. That is a0 is equal to 0. Is it clear? A0 I have identified. Any doubt? Continue. Yeah, so this is a0, that will be 0. Next we shall move on to the at node number 2. So at node number 2, Not see, let me take the node number 2 later. So let me move on to the next, where the displacement is directly 0, so that it will be easy for me. At node number 3, okay, I have gone for node number 1, and now I'm moving on to the last point, node number 3. So we know that displacement is 0, so let me substitute the same. U will be 0, but x will not be 0. What will be x? At x is equal to 40, the measuring value will be increased. See, I am moving from point number 1 to point number 3. Obviously the x will increase. So let me substitute the same in equation 2. U as 0 followed with a naught is 0, it is already identified, a naught is 0, plus a1 40 plus a2 40 square. Okay, so this will be the equation. Now what I will do is, let me write this as it is. Okay, I won't be substituting this as 0. What I will be doing is, I will keep as it is, so that I want to substitute this function in potential energy functional. I hope you can see here we need the value of u. So what I will be doing is, let me keep as it is. Yeah, I will rewrite this. Later we can substitute after identifying the function, so that I will keep this as at u is equal to 0, that is 0, that is equal to 40 a1 plus 40 square a2. So now I can rewrite this as a1 is equal to minus 40 a2. So we need this relation. Okay, now so let me consider the actual equation, that has u is equal to a1x plus a2 x square. So this is the actual equation when I consider at node number 3. So node number 3, what happens? The equation will be u is equal to a0 is 0, a1x plus a2x square. Next, what I will be doing is, I will be differentiating. See, check here, what is the potential energy functional, that is given by day by u. We need to identify this, right? Day by u by day by x. You can see that we are able to identify a equation, that is u is equal to a1x plus a2x square when I consider at node 3. So node 3, what happens? We already know that a0 is 0. When I substitute that, I will be getting, see, if I substitute a0 0 in the displacement function, I will be getting u is equal to a1x plus a2x square, and again I will be doing partial differentiation day by u by day by x to this equation. Then I will obtain that as minus 40 a2 plus 2 a2x. Okay, I will consider this equation as 3 and this equation as 4. Okay, next let me move on to the, and see, we are successfully able to identify what is day by u by day by x, but still we don't know the value of u1. So let me identify when u is equal to u1. U will become u1 where at x is equal to 20 at midpoint. Okay, now the function will be, see, we know the assumed displacement function is u is equal to a0 plus a1 x plus a2 x square. This is the assumed displacement function. At midpoint, what happens? U will become u1, so I will substitute u1. We already know a0 as 0. Okay, and we know a1 as 40 a2. Here you can see that minus 40 a2. So let me substitute the same, that is minus 40 a2, and the x, what is x? X is 20 at the center, multiplied by 20 plus A2 we don't know, 20 square. So I can rewrite this function as u1 is equal to this entire function as minus 400 A2. Okay, so this is u1. I will consider this as fifth. Okay, I will repeat this explanation so that I don't want you to be confused. First we considered node 1. At node 1 u is 0, x is 0. Okay, when I substitute these two value in the equation, that is u is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square, I am able to identify that a0 will be 0. Substitute this value here. Done. Next I am shifting to node number 3, that is even at node number 3 we know that displacement is 0. Okay, u will be 0 at x is equal to 40. When I substitute that, I am able to identify a1 is equal to minus 40 a2, and the equation was u is equal to a1x plus a2x square. So we differentiate, partial differentiate, so that we need this fourth equation to substitute in 1, that is day by u by day by x. So that is also done, and at the center point we have to substitute u1 in the same one equation. See, u1 here it is unknown, so we have to substitute that. So how to get this u1? We already assumed that in our initial statement. You can see that u will be u1. So let me highlight this so you can check here. U will be u1 at the midpoint. Okay, x will be 20. So when I do that, so I will get u1 is equal to minus 400 a2. Now we have to substitute. So that is the third step. Third step is substitute the displacement function into potential energy functional. Substitute the displacement function in potential energy functional. Okay, so this step we have to follow. So when I do that, so we already know the potential energy functional, that as pi. After substituting, I will be getting the simplification. I will be directly substituting 3.5 into 10 raised to 6 integration of, so that is L, we need to consider. So that limit will be 0 to 40. Okay, the total length 0 to 40. And if you see, the next is inside we have day by u by day by x whole square. What is the day by u by day by x? That is equation number 4. You can see that. So let me substitute the same equation number 4 within the bracket, that is minus 40 a2 plus 2 a2 x whole square dx minus work potential. Applied load is 8 into 10 raised to 3 multiplied by u1. What is u1? Nothing but minus 400 into a2. So this is u1. And after simplification, I will write down the, see this steps you need to do in the home, like in your home. Directly I will be substituting where potential energy function after substitution. Okay, I will be getting the simplified function as 7.465 into 10 raised to 10 a2 square plus 32 into 10 raised to 5 a2. Okay, I will be getting this potential energy functional after simplifying this equation. So let me consider this as 6. So third step is done. What is the fourth step? Here we need to use principle of minimum potential energy and should identify the function. Okay, that is, let me write down minimize the potential energy functional. Okay, minimize the potential energy functional. So what is the condition? Partial differentiation of the potential energy functional with respect to AI. AI, the constant, that is equal to 0. Here if you see, here AI is nothing but we have only the one, that is A2. So what I will be doing, differentiation of potential energy functional with respect to A2. In case if you have A1, you need to do with respect to A1. When I do that, I will be getting it as that is 7.65 into 10 raised to 10 multiplied by 2A2 plus 32 into 10 raised to 5, and substitute this for to A0, then I will be getting A2. I will be getting A2 as minus 2.143 into 10 raised to minus 5. So now I was able to identify this particular function. Give me a minute. So this is the value of A2. Okay, minimize the potential energy functional. So this is the potential energy functional, that is equation number 6. With respect to A2, then I was able to identify the value of A2. Okay, next, after doing that, the step number 5. So step number 5, determination of displacement and stress. Okay, so we know the value of A2 as minus 2.143 into 10 raised to minus 5, and if you remember equation number 5, so let me equation number 5, this one is U1 into minus 400 into A2. If you substitute the value, then we are going to get the value of U1. U1 is equal to minus 400. A2, substitute A2 value, that is minus 400 into 2.143 into 10 raised to minus 5. Okay, so here we are able to identify U1 as 8.572 into 10 raised to minus 3 mm. So where is this U1? U1 will be the displacement at the midpoint when we apply the force of 8 kilonewton. Now using this, we have to identify the stress. Okay, so how to calculate the stress? Again, we know that from Hooke's law, I can write down this equation: sigma by epsilon is equal to E. Ratio of stress by strain, that is equal to E. So using this, we shall able to identify. So that is sigma is given by epsilon into E, and here the strain is nothing but so the change of displacement that we are going to represent with the help of day by U by day by X. So this is the displacement, that is the strain. So what is this day by U by day by X? If you remember, so this is that fourth equation is the day by U by day by X. So let me substitute this minus 40A2 plus 2A2X in this particular equation, that is sigma is equal to minus 40A2 plus 2A2X multiplied by E. Okay, when I do that, I know the value of A2, okay, as well as the value of X. So X will be different. We have three different points. X could be 0, X could be 20, and X could be 40. So for all these three values, we need to identify the stress. So let me check at midpoint what will be the stress. So when I say at midpoint, X will be 20. So then sigma is equal to minus 40 A2 we know that is minus 2.143 into 10 raised to minus 5 multiplied by like plus 2. A2 same minus 2.143 into 10 raised to minus 5. So x value will be 20 here, and multiplied by E. Young's modulus is given in the data, that is 70 into 10 raised to 3. Then at midpoint we are able to find, I am getting it as 0. Please cross check this answer. Okay, so that is the value. Again, you x is equal to 0, calculate the stress, and x is equal to 40, give me the stress values. So this as a homework. Okay, I hope this method, like this process, is simple. And in case, let me stop the session here.